Turn to ban.
It's time. It's time for our deciding Game 3. One of these teams is going home, and one of them has a date with Na'Vi. The winner of that match, they go to China. They have a guaranteed berth, at least as a wild card team, if not into the main event. Well, they'll still get some money and a paid trip to China. This is the Dota 2 Asia Championship 2015, the European qualifier. It's a larger prize pool than previous internationals, TI1 and TI2, and the prize pool, it continues to grow. With all that out of the way, I'm LD. I'm joined here by KOTLguy. And it's pretty much exactly as we discussed, Dakota. Well, if you're VPpolar, you can ban Wisp, then you're either giving away Troll or Jug. They opt to give away the Jug, and Alliance happy to take it.
Jug, a scary hero. We haven't seen him yet today, but there's a good reason why this hero is the flavor of the month. Yeah, his skill set has been the same since the olden days of Dota 1, but things have changed. The numbers, they get tweaked up and up and up, and finally it's at a point where this hero is just way too good to just easily pass up, and he's been used across all regions. You know, sometimes heroes trend of one or the other. No, Jug is picked up by everybody this day and age. His spin is fantastic. His new crit bonus up to 20% is beautiful. He's got more agility early on for extra base attack speed, the extra bits of attack damage, more armor. It's a hero you really just can't let happen, go. And Loda is very used to playing this hero, so this is a bit scary letting that through, but it was more scary to see that Tony and Wisp in the last game, so no surprise they have to make sure they get rid of that. They also follow through and pick up the prize Lion, which also did fantastic work all throughout this series. So here we go. Things are to get underway here, and well, LD, I've had 3 days of Dota, 6 best of threes, all of them going the 3-game stretch. It's no surprise that we have to end it out on the final one here, and well, I don't know, man. This is good stuff. I'm excited.
Yeah, VPpolar are going to go for kind of an Empire-esque opening. They get the Ancient Apparition early, good against the Healing Ward, of course. They follow it up now with a Rubik, so we're going to see that exact same duo that Empire loves to run, and with the Rubik, a lot of big spells to steal this game. Omni Slash is really good. Lion Hex, Finger of Death, Impale, all of these spells excellent to steal. And for Rubik, we'll have to see if he gets the farm and the openings to make plays happen. They have some pick-off potential, these two, but they are fairly level dependent. So running the puck now as well, Alliance will reply with a Nature's Prophet. It's a hero that EGM's played once so far for the team. Of course, it used to be Bulldog's go-to, but it's been a long time since the Bulldog has been on this stage and for Alliance.
But he's watching from the stands. I'm sure he's like, yes, okay, Nature's Prophet. I wonder if he got any private tutor lessons in the meantime.
Rubbing his hands together excitedly, I am sure. Well, he'll get his Nature's Prophet, so some good early pressure here, and obviously, you're running level-dependent supports, Rubik and H Apparition, who cannot really jungle, and so if you can shut them down with the Treants early in the offlane, then they may struggle to find that farm and those levels later on. So I like the Nature's Prophet pick, also good in conjunction with Juggernaut and the Healing Ward. You can push early, long before that Ice Blast ever comes online. Could be a very potent duo, and EGM, he just seems more comfortable when he gets some space to farm. So going for the Nature's Prophet, it's up his alley. The Puck, the Tidehunter game wasn't so bad, but the Puck game, it's a hero that you have to do well with in lane, and you can't disappear and go farm for a while. And I feel like EGM kind of reminds me a bit of Fly or Simba for Secret, where he just he's a lot more in the zone when he knows he has like a stack to go back to, or he can retreat to the jungle, and support can take over his lane for a bit. And with the Jug Lion, these are two heroes that can create space while the Nature's Prophet gets his.
Yeah, they'll be able to use the map to its entirety. While Virtus Pro might be more of a lineup where they want to move as a fine unit here, or at least have something set up in conjunction on top of that Ice Blast. So as the Banzu progress Alliance, they get rid of that Drow and the Faceless Void. Virtus Pro dropping out that Brood, and we're not going to see a Tidehunter this go around. So offlaners are slowly being taken away. Still some prominent choices in the pool. Virtus Pro have been taking a bit of time here to think about their fourth pick. It's a lot of nerves for this one. This is the final hurrah for either of these teams, so I am no surprise a lot on the line. Typically, the pickup here is probably going to be the it didn't grab. I say that now, but we'll have to see. Mag had been doing very well on the puck. Last game it was a pretty rough showing against, of course, the Loda Tiny and Ake Wisp, but we'll see how they look to bounce back on this one. I'm trying to think of what the actual answer could be, but a Venomancer, a hero I haven't seen in quite a while, but a hero who can also be extremely annoying.
It looks like a core Veno. Okay, so they're going to run the Veno Ancient Apparition. There was a team that was doing this for a while. It was, I think it was the Old Empire. They ran Veno Ancient Apparition. Was Void the third hero? It might have been. Might have been Void, although he's banned in this game. So we're not going to see that. A lot of... Obviously, Veno and AA work well together because you do a bunch of damage with the Veno ult and his other damage over time, and then they can all shatter from the Ice Blast. So there's some natural synergy there. They're going to ban out a Dragon Knight. They're worried about this Alliance push, which with the Abaddon, Nature's Prophet, Jug, none of these heroes is an amazing pusher on their own. Prophet obviously quite good and towards the top end of pushing heroes, but you get that one frontline siege engine to go with the healing ward and the Abaddon shields, and then you're in a lot of trouble. So, VPpolar, okay D-push. Ice Blast pretty good, Ward's pretty good, Fade Bolt pretty good, and Alliance worried about getting out late game here. They're going to ban the Spectre, one of the hardest carries remaining in the pool. Well, that doesn't leave a whole lot of the go-to ultra-hard carries as of late. There's still like a Terrorblade out there. There is a Naga.
Medusa.
There's a Naga, Medusa, Illidan's run a few times as well.
And it's interesting. I haven't seen a DK in a real long time. I feel like if they wanted to get rid of a mid laner who could potentially push hard, Razor seemed to be more of a popular pickup as of recent, who is still in the pool and available. But,
or Viper. Viper's really good
Viper
against
too.
all these magic damage strats as well. So
yeah, maybe something they reach for here, but it's going to be the anti-fun. Anti-Mage going to be picked up last here. So, well, no Medusa, actually the opposite side of the spectrum here.
Okay, now Anti-Mage, they don't have a ton of lockdown for him. Lion is the key to stopping this Anti-Mage. Obviously, with the mana drain, he's nice against the illusions, especially with the buff to that in the most recent patch, and has the instant hex. But if the Lion doesn't get his levels out early, then this Anti-Mage Freeloading could snowball completely out of control.
Yeah, Nature's Prophet also needs to consider itemizing a bit just for this anti-mage. Whether it's getting an Orchid or a Sheep Stick at some point, you're going to need that extra bit of lockdown, so anti-mage is not going to be able to slip away so easy. But Alliance now looking to round out their own draft going into this final game here. It's looking like they're going to need their potential, what is it, mid laner, or yeah, maybe mid laner. Pycat, I guess, his final grab. Storm Spirit had been something he'd gone for here. Is it something you think could fit in here?
Has to lane against the Veno. Pretty annoying. You can, but to be honest, they may just have to accept that whoever goes mid is not going to have the easiest time. That nobody really enjoys laning against Veno. Even OD, it's still annoying because the Plague Wards have such a low mana cost that you can always spam them. So we'll see. It depends on the timing that Alliance has in mind this game, which it feels more mid-game-ish. Maybe they were thinking about a harder carry for the mid lane, but I'm not sure, to be honest.
I'm still dancing with the idea of Razor. I don't know if it's something that they have ran recently a whole lot. And I don't know, I haven't seen a Razor going against a Veno in quite a while. Maybe not since the days when EG was running like with Fear and Veno in the mid lane, but going to be the Wind Ranger pickup here. Didn't find success earlier, but they're going to make a go here, and that's going to be an off-lane Wind Ranger.
Yeah, well, okay, Pycat is playing the Nature's Prophet. Off-lane Wind Ranger. This used to be a go-to... There was a period during TI3, a good example is the old Orange Esports, where they would go aggressive tri-lane, Ohio would be Wind Ranger, and they would just constantly beat on melee safe lane farmers. Anti-Mage, probably the classic example during that particular tournament. So the idea being that you can't really go on Wind Ranger because she has Wind Run. She has a great attack animation, good base damage, and she can be aggressive in the lane. So you put some strong defensive supports behind her, and she just constantly plink, 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 bully the anti-mage a little bit and try and slow him down. Now, I don't think you can really do that this game because there's a Rubik H Apparition. Lion Abaddon is not that scary of a support duo. So I think it will be either dual lanes here or even just the solo off-lane Wind Ranger. We saw Wind Ranger the other day trying to do the Ancient shenanigans where you're just farming the Ancients from across the way. It was pretty underwhelming, to be honest, but We'll see which direction they take. We may have a remake as FNG is unable... Oh, no, just a quick reconnect, it looks like.
I do like the Wind Ranger in this one. I think you briefly said about it, but the extra lockdown certainly helps going against the AM. Plus, she could also be an Orchid holder in her own right, maybe even a luxury sheepstick down the line. So they have lots of lockdown, which felt like they were lacking at the start with just having a Lion. I feel like as the game will progress, it could be a bit of a headache for your anti-mage down the road. So I certainly like that they have that kind of a presence there for the long road. But anti-mage is anti-mage after all, and if he does accelerate with a tremendous amount of farm through the early to mid game, he could really be a problem in the long haul. I haven't really seen a whole lot of anti-mage go toe-to-toe with a Jug in the late game, but I have to imagine anti-mage should have the upper hand, given that he doesn't get caught out with a bad Omni Slash and absolutely taken apart.
Yeah, it's... The Omni, it all comes down to that, right? If you get a good Omni Slash, Jug can outcarry almost anything. But
yeah.
Already...
But he's a blinking hero. He could just try his best to avoid. I know that Omni can follow through with a blink. I don't know exactly the proper properties there, but...
Yeah, it can, but it's like very... It's very random, I feel.
Finicky.
Yeah. I would say most of the time it doesn't. Like, most of the times you see someone blink out and the Omni Slash doesn't follow them, so... Well, with that said, you know, always can get the Abyssal Blade. Really, if they want to kill the IM, they're probably relying on the Blink Hex into Omni later on, or maybe the Blink Shackle shots, though. Those are a bit more difficult to line up. But I've been really impressed by how hard Juggernaut hits lately, and it would not shock me if Loda just could flat out outcarry even a very farmed Illidan in this game. We'll find out. The battle begins now. This is your deciding Game 3, folks. We're into it, and Na'Vi is awaiting the winner. They'll be playing a bit later today, about 3 hours and change from now. And with that said, we get into the player introductions. Loda playing your Juggernaut. It's been banned out the first 2 games, but thanks to their great Tiny Wisp, VPpolar opted to allow it through. First picked overall by Alliance, and now My Nuts handling the Lion. Pycat on the Nature's Prophet. Potato, your Wind Ranger. And Ake on the Abaddon. They trot towards the top lane. Maybe they look to go aggressive here, at least with the dual lane, it may seem.
Dire side. Oh, sorry.
No,
go ahead, please. Dire side, I was going to say Virtus Pro Polar. It's going to be Illidan playing, of course, the anti-mage. Lil Hardy's going to be playing your Rubik. Over on the left-hand side, you can see FNG is going to be playing your Ancient Apparition. Mid lane, DK Phobos on that core. Venomancer, and finally, to round it out, Mag in his off-lane, Puck.
Early rate of protection picked up, so we'll work towards the Bassi ring here, most likely, and I guess they will run... Do they run the Prophet off lane here? Pycat, yeah, Treant's already skilled up, and he's just heading towards... Back to the base, should be trotting to top now. So they will run the solo mid Wind Ranger for EGM. Can be a real lane dominator. Against Venomancer, pretty good at just working the wards down early, but once the level 3 wards are out, it doesn't matter what hero you are. You're still going to have an annoying time in lane.
Yeah. Luckily, they do benefit from that huge additional range from that power shot. You can be able to get some good shots in from regardless how far you are. Maybe you can even do some stacks from mid lane on the side creeps. I don't know if that's something that people have dabbled with, but you can stack up the side pretty easily with that long range.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. It'd be pretty. It'd be,
over here, maybe even down here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that you can do like the 2-for-1 if you shoot one through both camps. That's not a straight line, but you get the idea.
Yeah, just fun tactics right there. But we'll see if it's something they do consider toying with. But as the lanes do begin to develop right here, it is going to be that 2-1-2 kind of a matchup right here. Ake is just going to kind of sit back, allow Pycat to try to get some XP and farm, and he'll always be there as the babysitter. And pretty much the same thing there for the bottom. Loda, it's a Jug after all. He's got probably one of the best attack animations, last hitting capabilities in the game altogether, and he'll always have My Nuts nearby just in case he needs a little bit of help.
Yeah, running the dual lanes, Pycat will get lifted up and then just quickly shielded. So with the Abaddon here, they should never really be able to get off a Cold Feet proc that sticks. So he shouldn't die. Pycat can harass these supports a bit, actually quite a bit with the Null Tally. He's going in on FNG. But they're not going to really slow down the anti-mage's farm. Illidan 4 and 5. If Prophet goes up far enough to start harassing him really hard, then the supports will be able to at least trade some blows. So Illidan will get his farm. Pycat will get his levels. Mid lane will just be a wash in terms of farm. Safe lane for Alliance. Can they actually kill Mag? I don't think so unless until the point where they get Omni Slash, then Hex Omni and he's probably dead. But as long as he reserves the orb defensively, it's not an easy kill for these two.
Yeah, even if they wanted to get some assistance, like Pycat's building up in a sense that leads me to believe that his Nature's Prophet is going to look to get active and roam around the map, but even him getting involved on the bottom lane is going to be very difficult to try to get a hold of Mag. But maybe if you wanted to get involved in the mid lane, it could be a bit different. There's going to be what looks like the handoff there, and it's just going to be the boots early on here for DK Phobos on his Venomancer.
Uh-oh. Well, this could be trouble. If Mag actually throws his orb, he may die here. And Paled, Orb, and Hex, well timed by my nuts, but the Invisor to set it up, he can't jaunt. Oh boy, what a rune. And what a time for it. Gets in real nice and close, and Puck unable to do a thing there.
But that Alliance strike first here in game number 3. But at top, action doesn't stop. Pycat walking away, but so is Ake, and well, they're not going to be able to get a hold of anyone. This is going to be a troublesome lane here for VPpolar if they want to get any sort of kills. I wonder if these supports need to consider maybe roaming about or finding some stacks on the side. There's going to be a telekinesis, but there's that shield, and it's just going to be a little too hard if they want to get anything done.
I don't even know if he's going to bother skilling Cold Feet. It's not particularly popular in general, and given that this is the lane, you're never getting that. Okay, we'll just sit here all day. He's actually got a TP as well, so even if they try to rotate on, say, EGM mid or potentially towards that bottom lane once Puck gets level 6, it's not going to happen. And Mag decides, I'm just going to farm some Ancients, so this will be a slow going by him, but he doesn't even feel confident to lane bottom anymore.
Mid lane, Potato, very nice CS for this Wind Ranger though. 22-3. Talk about he might be struggling. He seems to be holding pretty damn good as far as CS. Venomancer though is getting those levels. The wards are going to slowly begin to be the real plague that they are. He's only sporting the 13-4 record, so Potato off to a nice start as far as the early CS game. We'll see if that continues to develop here. A Wind Ranger mid lane. How long do you plant yourself here and build up the farm? And do you ever consider maybe roaming about and trying to find some objectives or kills elsewhere? And as I say that, kills are breaking about as the runes were spawned, and it looks like it could be FNG going down, and it will be. Alliance pick up another one, now pushing ahead 2-0.
The ward is chasing, though. DK Phobos gets off that last long-range lob with the Poison Sting here. It's not quite enough to bring him down, it looks like. He's got one more bottle charge, though. He is going to sink very low. And now he begins to bottle up. We'll have to stay back, and he may ferry out some regen soon. The courier on its way back to the well, and Loda closes it on level 6. So he's going to have Omni Slash soon. Lion has the Hex. We saw that earlier. This is the point where anyone who comes bottom, Hex, Omni Slash, and I don't really see anyone on VPpolar surviving that. They're all fairly squishy.
Yeah, and if you don't look to get involved with that, you're forced to leave Loda to get his own bit of free farm, and he's only going to be even more troublesome down the road. And as far as that mid lane engagement, you can get a bit of a foreshadowing as far as that poison damage. Now imagine an Ice Blast on top of that. That makes for some easy shatters. So something that Alliance need to be cautious of, and maybe need to even consider getting a couple of reliable cloaks, or maybe even a pipe for their team, just to prevent them from getting so much of that huge DPS, or dot damage rather, over time.
Yep, it's going to be a passive stage for VPpolar over the next 5-10 minutes. You're running a Venom mid, not a hero who's going to be rotating around and setting up a ton of ganks. The Puck off lane's been shut down pretty thoroughly, as we see Mag still just working on the Granite Golem. So with no blink in sight for him, with supports that are decent roamers but not doing any roaming early, and I expect VPpolar are just going to play defense. It's Alliance who have the Lion that can go around the map making plays, Juggernaut, who's a great early ganker. Now Phase Boots picked up to go with the rate of Aquila. VPpolar I'm expecting them to be a lot more reactionary, and mostly Alliance the ones, if there is any aggression, who will be forcing it. Maybe they can kill this Nature's Prophet. That's the main hero that's in any sort of danger, but that's only when Ake's off the lane.
Ake is off the lane right now, but the creep equilibrium works perfectly right now, as it's going to be under the tower, and Pycat will be able to work with this as Ake does make his return. And yeah, I am expecting a very, very quiet start here from VPpolar. They need to itemize a lot more, and it is an anti-mage game, so he's looking to not get involved with anything. So it's more pressure on the other four to make sure they can try to get a lot done. DK Phobos will be able to throw together those Tranquil Boots. He's constantly keeping the pressure there, putting those wards up and above, and even plants a Obs ward himself right up there. So he will have constant vision as far as where Potato's going to be.
Well, good luck dislodging him from the lane now. Keeps on spamming out the wards. It takes like 3-4 auto attacks by Potato just to bring a single ward down, and as quickly as you bring down one, he drops another. The infestation is here to stay. Barring a massive rotation from the Lion, maybe the Jug. They have Finger of Death already, though. Finger of Death online, Omni Slash online. This is a really nice start for Alliance on these two, and we've seen My Nuts has played Lion. He played it 5 out of 6 games coming into this match, and you see why. They run it with the Juggernaut quite a bit, and he normally gets his early levels, and then a big playmaking hero for him later on.
They value it as much as DK did in MMY's Lion. That was scary enough as it was.
Oh, DK Phobos, well played. Holding on to that single tango. It'll help keep him alive as FNG struts in. He's going to pull EGM towards the cliff, but that causes FNG to get hit quite hard. He salves up. Pycat going to run him down into the tree line. The power shot pierces through. Was dead to rights anyway, it looked like, but still a nice shot there.
Nice snipe, and even though the Sprout's there on Lil, it's not going to be enough damage to do anything to that Rubik, but nice grab nonetheless. It's Alliance starting out with a nice flawless beginning here. 3-0 plus the tier 1 takedown for Loda, who continues to farm up very, very nicely. Looks like he is going to go right for that Morbid Mask into the Mask of Madness, and he's going to be opting for the... he's got 2 levels into Blade Fury, which I have heard that if you are able to get maybe a couple picks... Oh, he's leveling up Blade Fury. That's intriguing.
Uh-oh. Mag. Oh, if he gets Hexed or Impaled there, he's dead. Yeah, he's got the... I think you meant 2 points in the crit. Yeah, 2 points.
Illidan's making a go on Ake, and Ake does not have level 6. Oh, Mana Void's not going to be enough to take him down, and he has to pull back.
That hurts. So close. Good play there by Ake with the magic stick.
3 points in the Blade Fury. Usually, lately, it's 1-1-1 and some stats, or 1-1-4 and some stats. Maybe 2 in the Blade Fury if you feel like you can get a kill in the lane. But going above that seems a bit peculiar as far as what I've heard in the grapevine. But Lotus, you know, he's a big Jug player. What do I know? He's going to make a hold for himself as he continues to press on forward, having that ward behind him. He has plenty of sustain to just kind of hold his ground.
Yeah, it does lower the cooldown quite a bit, so if you're looking to fight a lot early, Blade Fury offers a lot of value there to level it up, and it can help you clear stacks in the jungle, though you go the Mask of Madness build, if I assume he will complete that you jungle very efficiently just auto-attacking that way as well. So it's a hero that's still being explored a lot. I've seen at least 5 or 6 different skill builds, and there seems to be no professional consensus.
Yeah. Well, he's also extremely flexible. I've seen him on every role in every laning position. Mid, I've seen him, support, obviously. It's absolutely ridiculous. Mid lane, Shackle is not going to be able to connect, but they still lock him in place. Desperation TP, not going to matter. Potato's able to pick up that kill, and Alliance continue to push on. 4-0 now for them.
Well, Anti-Mage is farming, and farming quickly, but Illidan needs time. His team is not really able to exert much pressure on the map. DK Phobos off in the woods, perhaps worried about getting ganked. Pycat just parked mid-mag, struggling to find any semblance of farm. 8 CS is the offlane puck, compared to 15 on the Nature's Prophet, and the Prophet's even been participating in ganks. 1-0 and 2. It's a big disparity in terms of what the offlaners have achieved, and it goes back to the abandoned laning top lane, as well as the fact that they didn't really have much of a way to kill him, with the shield breaking out of the Rubik lift. So VPpolar are just going to hang on now. They get the point booster on the Venomancer. He'll work towards his Aghanim Scepter. They get Ice Blast. If they can get it in like the next 3 to 4 minutes, set up with a Venom, maybe get 2-3 kills there with a coil on top of it. There is potential for that. But until then, they're just in a very defensive posture.
Yeah, they got to stall out. I mean, it's apparent Illidan's going to be going for the Battle Fury. They're trying to converge onto Potato here. There's the Telekinesis. They managed to steal the power shot. Coil, and even on top of a haste, he's not going to be able to catch it. He's going to run away with that haste, and he will be fine. Actually, potential counter initiation could be happening here with that big rotation.
You go now. Shackle shot coming through. Lil without power shot on the mark. EGM trying to show him how it's done. Now, chasing in. Oh, get hexed up, actually. They have a Finger of Death here. This might be Illidan's demise. He's healed up by the stolen nuke. Still falls. Actually didn't even have mana for that Finger of Death, and they still end up getting the kill. Now My Nuts on the run, even with the phase boots. Oh, he's shielded. That will be enough to keep him in fighting shape. Another 2-hero Shackle. Potato Dota, ladies and gentlemen, as Mag's on the run. He'll turn and run back the other way, clearing off the creeps. At the same time, they're doing this without Loda, who's just off pushing bottom with the healing ward. He takes down this tier 2. He'll be looking at the solo Roshan play very early.
Yeah, that's a bit unusual because Anti-Mage, who was brought down, they had their full 5 involved, and the 4 of Alliance showing dominance right here. And you don't even need Loda. He is just finding his own way, and I gotta love those little bits of synergy between even like Nature's Prophet and the Wind Ranger. Just being able to put down the Sprout could allow for an easy shackle shot. They didn't put one there, but you could definitely see the potential is going to be popping up momentarily and something they can always fall back on.
VPpolar have been playing so much for Protect Illidan Dota, and this might be the first game where they've just been completely figured out, it seems. Like, just shut down from the laning stage. Now Alliance walk into the Roshan pit. There is no Ice Blast yet. FNG can't contest this. They do have Coil, Veno ult online. If they knew, they could at least scare Loda back, but they have no clue. And they walk into this pit, if they're not careful, Omni/Mage just get a quick, easy kill, and potentially even a double with the Mask of Madness.
Oh, they know, though. Mag is going to orb. Going to give him that heads up, and that's enough to kind of scurry Alliance away from this pit. But I agree with you. Illidan's style has always been, and we said it in game, I believe it was number 1 where he played the Slark, right? And you know, that just seems to be a hero that suits him so well. He can play aggressive, he can play like that blitzkrieg, blitzy, headstrong style, and be able to have a way to slip on out, you know, with that Shadow Dance and Pounce. He can do kind of the same thing here with Anti-Mage, but with Alliance already building up so much farm, you could see that even Pycat's looking to throw together an Orchid, and he's well underway. That's going to prove to be a big problem here for your Anti-Mage.
FNG dropping Observer Ward at the same time. Ake hanging out nearby. I want to mention, I think the stolen power shot is a pretty big deal. Lil stealing this means that they can hold their towers a lot better, as long as they don't just get picked off the bat. Although, that might be what happens to FNG. He's already TPing out back to the base. Instant reaction, just by a threatened teleport from the Nature's Prophet. But yeah, they need to hold these towers as long as possible. Anti-Mage still needs his time. Illidan closing in on the Battle Fury, but Battle Fury alone doesn't win you this game. He needs to get 5-6 slotted at the rate it's going, because his team is just not going to be able to accrue much farm if they lose these tier 1s. And the tier 1s are already dropping low. They've lost the 1 bottom and the tier 2, and Alliance will go back into the pit. Ice Blast here to greet them, though. Loda gets chunked. Now bashed. Oh, this is unfortunate. He just can't finish this Roche cleanly. They're going to go contest. They have the stolen power shot as well. They'll be able to bring Loda quite low here. Power shot.
Trying to heal
up that almost.
Oh!
If he gets bashed, that would have been a kill. He gets bashed.
Oh! They're hungry. Rubik's going to be shooting another power shot here. It is going to catch from behind. They finally take down that Roche. Loda's able to grab up that prized Aegis, and now they look to go on the hunt here. Stun's going to be caught out, but they will not be able to get that Rubik. And still, about 15 minutes into this one, VPpolar have yet to get themselves on the board, and there's your Omni Slash flying out. F could be in big trouble and will get slashed down right there, and with that ult popping out plus the Ice Blast, Pycat could be in a world of hurt, but the shield's going to be there, and they find yet another takedown taking apart, but the Mana Void, it's Illidan who's finally going to get his team on the board with that big catch. Does take down Pycat, but still, Alliance come up with better numbers at the end of it.
Yeah, killing off the AA, getting the Veno. I think that's about as good as VPpolar get there, unless they manage to stop the Roche attempt. But once the Aegis is down, well, there's just not a whole lot they can do.
Potato making it go on Illidan. Power shot's there, and he will be able to blink away, but he has a Shadow Blade now on this Wind Ranger.
Yeah, they're running more of like a tri-core with this. Shadow Blade on the Wind Ranger, Prophet building Orchid, Juggernaut going for the carry build du jour. All 3 of these heroes will scale. And if you only have a farmed Anti-Mage, you're up against a natural Hex, 2 heroes that can build Hex as carries, and Jug, who can dish out serious damage. It's not obvious that VPpolar will just like GG win play with this level of farm. They're falling very far behind.
Certainly are. And Alliance, they want to start going on the objective path here after taking down the bottom lane. Not 1 but 2 towers and the Roche. They make their way towards the top, and they can hold strong here for quite a while. It's Loda who's going to be leading out the front here. EGM's already cutting off the creeps and allowing them to get this easy tower. And I imagine they'll just continue to parade themselves down this lane. AA's Ice Blast is going to come in and should be able to catch Pycat, but he's already on his way out. I don't know. VPpolar, they're going to need to be able to throw something together with the other 4. And Phobos could be caught out here. Shackle very nicely connected, and here comes My Nuts looking to come on in. Can he get the finger? He can. Gale's going to be out, but Phobos should be able to drop here, and there it is. Wind Ranger.
Oh, no mana for Mana Void. He gets it off.
Oh! Big slash right there. Loda could be in big trouble. The Aegis will be popped right there.
He has Omni
Still
now.
has Omni.
It just cooled down during that Aegis pop. They need to get the hell out quick, fast, and in a hurry. Sprout will find Lil. He's going to tango his way out and continue running. Loda forced back. They actually make it a pretty good trade. Getting the EGM kill, breaking through the Aegis, and Anti-Mage on top of that, able to collect one. VPpolar, these are the types of fights they need to have if they want to turn this game. Now the Yasha nearly complete. With the Aegis down, Alliance will have to be a little bit more conservative about how hard they try to take these fights. You lose a big fight to this Anti-Mage, and then he gets Manta, and then this game could swing on its head.
It is their mid laner for the opponent's mid laner, but with Illidan getting that kill certainly helps them. But it's another tower takedown for Alliance, so more income for the rest of their team. VPpolar behind enemy lines here in the jungle could actually get caught out. Illidan, though, makes a nice jump in onto the Lion and does take him down. Now spinning and winning. Loda looking to catch out Lil. Lil trying to throw out the TP, but not going to happen. Power shot flies through and helps bring him down. A one-for-one trade that certainly benefits Alliance, taking down Illidan, and a desperate FNG trying to run away as AK is just hunting him down. The Horseman just trots on forward and will scare him back, but here comes Pycott to cut him off at the pass, gets the Sprout out. Cold Feet's going to be quickly canceled out with that shield. There's your Shackle, and boop, right on the back inside. Potato going to be able to pick up that kill on your AA.
Yeah, they are not very strong in the fights. VPpolar just melt to the Omni Slash. That was really awkward. They smoke, they head up this ramp, and they're like, okay, we see a few Alliance heroes rotate in, but everybody on Alliance was coming. 4 heroes up the hill, Pycat TP'ing in, and they just got pincered. You use your Blink offensively as Anti-Mage, and you have no answer for the Omni Slash. Unfortunately for Illidan, just wrong place, wrong time, but another costly death.
Moving forward. It looks like Lion throws out the stun, will make the retreat out. VPpolar wanted to converge and maybe see if they can catch anyone out, but that is not going to be the case. Mag does have his Blink and Coil at the ready, but it feels like it's been quite a while since we've seen VPpolar really be the initiators. Every time they try to make a jump in, it ends up being maybe near even at best, or it could end up blowing up in their face. But for now, this is what they are looking for. They're going to smoke up and head towards this bottom, add some pressure there, and see if anyone's going to be caught out. But if someone's going to be caught out, it could potentially be Illidan here. Oh, he's just instead going to be spotted, and we'll continue to farm it on up.
In the meantime, bottom lane, they jump in. Coil's there, collecting the kill on My Nuts. And they do steal Impale. Big spell steal. We've seen some amazing Rubik performances over the past few days to turn games, and this is the type of spell that can do it. But Orchid's out for Pycat now. Illidan at least having that revealed in a non-fatal way. Well, this is a fatal way to go down. Sleight of Fisted, an instant Omni Slash steal from Lil. Good turn by him. He's going to zap this creep wave. Well, this could be a playmaking spell though, to grab the level 2 Omni Slash.
And it's just hilarious to watch as well. So we'll see. Lil holds it in reserve for now. Putting that on top of already your Ice Blast and Venomancer could certainly do some serious damage across the spread of Alliance's team. So we'll see as they waited about, converging towards bottom. Pycat on the hunt for Mag. Will get it with that last right click. Certainly the Orchid helping with that, but can he get away scot-free? Looks like a potential convergence. No, they opt to pull back instead. Now they are the ones who could potentially be flanked. Potato here, shadow blading on forward. Lil Hardy trying to find a place to hide. Gets his solo Omni, but here comes the rest of the squad. They are going to be able to withstand it. Now he's the one that's going to be dropped. Alliance continue to rake in the kills here. 13-4 now, and a game-deciding number 3.
Yeah, AM is a good carry, but this is turning into a feeding frenzy. He's going to have some serious weight on his shoulders as they TP in the Nature's Prophet. Pycat. Desperately, Illidan needs to finish this Manta style. Until he has Manta, anytime they manage to Orchid him, he just can't do anything about it. So Manta will be coming fairly soon. Even then, he's just a slightly more able to survive and escape. Lion Blink Dagger will soon be a threat. It's like as soon as one threat is addressed, Alliance already have the next threat about to be prepared. It's making it difficult to turn this game around.
Bottom lane, Potato, Shadow Blades, but they do drop a sentry. He's still standing in clear view of it. Actually, he's the one that's thinking about making it go because Pycat looks to interject from behind. Oh, he sprouts in the woods thinking that mag maybe hid away in there, but that's not the case. He does walk his way out. But yeah, that's how it's feeling right now. Alliance are just kind of one step ahead always of where VPpolar are because of a nice, strong early game where they were able to get a lot, especially Loda on the bottom, and then they continue to take tower after tower, and everyone benefits from all that gold. And so those supports continue to bring in those big items like that Blink Dagger. Loda crosses past with Illidan, gives him that one slash, like, hey, how you doing? And keeps on walking.
Little love tap there, a hug to a friend. Well, and good news for VPpolar. Alliance haven't managed to take their tier 2s mid or top yet, so they hold a little bit of map control. Illidan's been moving around the map very efficiently, keeping his farm up, keeping pace with the Juggernaut, despite the fact that his team only has 1 tower and the enemy team has 4, and the Juggernaut's 4-0-1 and he's got 2 deaths. So basically, Illidan's farming like a champ. Needs to keep it up. That's pretty much it at this point. The rest of their heroes are just not very active by nature. Rubik can be once he gets a blink, but without it, he can die to Orchid ganks, he can die to Omni Slash ganks, he can die to Shadow Blade ganks. Basically, the same thing is true for the Ancient Apparition. Veno to any 2. He's a little bit beefier and about to get his egg. So he's not an easy kill, but he's also very clunky and immobile. Because they're so immobile, and because there's no one that really can safely put pressure on the map, it's why the game feels like it's just 1v5. They can farm and stall, but they can't really actively do something to slow Alliance down. Maybe with the puck blink, they can go for a smoke gank. It's still going to be difficult.
We'll see as Alliance continue to control the majority of this map, finding farm in more places than VPpolar could hope for. Ice Blast. They connect on the mid lane here, hits the Lion, just kind of helps push back this wave a bit and picks up a few extra gold coins there for your AA, who is not really having the easiest game. He just continues to be kind of the selfless ward player, not anywhere near early makings of the catch-up minus for Ags, but Illidan could be caught out into the Hex, but the blink quickly sends him to the low ground. He should be fine, but Potato here on the other side between them and BK Phobos. Now he's the one caught with the coil. Illidan blinks in for the fight. Mantis styled, and he's going to be orchided up. They do manage to take down Potato. He heads up to the high ground to get away from this one, but because of that finger, they're able to bring down DK Phobos. Now my nuts is able to get blown up. Big Mana Void comes through from Illidan, and he cleans up a kill for himself.
That's the kind of fight VPpolar have been waiting for. Good initiation there, and, well, with the anti-mate starting to get pretty beefy, he offers a lot. Juggernaut wasn't really even in the fight, and they gotta be careful not to let Illidan snowball. None of these heroes is really gonna win a 1v1 man fight except Juggernaut with Omni Slash, which they get now, but quick! Manta out, and Illidan able to retreat. No Manta there, he's dead, but he's managed to acquire it, and that's Omni Slash down. Now Illidan can be a lot more confident in his movements. The one thing I'll have to worry about more than anything, though, is this Lion Blink Dagger. Now online, level 2 Hex, and hope he continue to level it up. Bottom lane, onto Mag. Silence is here. Pycat trying to run him down with auto text, needs 2 more. 1, and Soulburn will tick him down. So, still a very sad game for the Punks.
Yeah, good solo grab right there for Pycat. And Loda has plenty of gold to finish out that Agnums too. So your Omni becomes that much more dramatic. And we'll see. Begins to utilize that. Illidan taking away the Ancient stack from the Alliance side, continues to find his farm all over. And, well, there's got to be a lot of weight on his shoulders. Trying to be the dark horse for his team as his AA and maybe Mag on the puck continue to struggle a little bit early on. They're counting on him to really bring it out in the late game.
Here we go. Pause from Loda. We're coming down the home stretch. Winner of this match, guys, as we mentioned earlier, will play Na'Vi in a best-of-3 showdown, and then the winner of that moves on into your lower bracket finals, where they shall await the Power Rangers Hellraisers loser. Those are your 2 winner bracket finalists. They'll be playing directly after this one, and then we move into that Na'Vi versus VPpolar or Alliance showdown. So 2 more best-of-3s to come your way. I believe Zyori and Morlini will be bringing you guys those final 2 games, and those are going to be the fun ones, man, because the Na'Vi or the Na'Vi match coming up later today, that determines the final team who's going to China. We don't know who will be the qualified team, versus who's going to be the wild cards, but we know somebody's going.
And I know that Na'Vi matchup's going to be entertaining either way. If it's Virtus Pro Polar who make their way through, we get to see Illidan and Havos go head-to-head. Two players who have very similar kind of play styles, who love their farm, but may also get a little bloodthirsty from time to time and a bit reckless. And if it's Alliance who go through, then we get our El Clasico, the Na'Vi Alliance head-to-head matchup, and only one goes down.
Vlad was trying to call Na'Vi versus Empire El Clasico. Maybe for the CIS community it is, but I'm not buying it, man. I don't know. They haven't faced off in that many big tournament finals. For me, is the main thing. It is a classic CIS showdown. I'll give you that. But there can
all right.
There can only be one El Clasico, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if is it Na'Vi versus Alliance anymore. Maybe it should be like Vici versus Newbie or something. To be honest.
Fair enough. Fine. A good throwback, I guess, to TI3.
I'm just I'm chatting. I'm not flaming your lexicon here.
What the point is, I'm sure either way, we'll have a very entertaining final elimination match for the lower bracket. Whoever it is that makes their way through. Both teams, though, obviously have invested so much so far. I mean, they have gone through so much of a bracket already, and at least for every match I've casted, it had to go the full 3-game stretch. So these teams have played a lot of Dota to get to this point, and with so much money potentially on the line, the nerves are very real.
Real they are. Let's see. What's going on with the Loda here? He just paused, disconnected. Didn't really say anything. Not sure. He walked back to base. And then he paused. So it's not like he straight up disconnected from the game out of nowhere. So hopefully his internet's okay.
You didn't say if there was one of those matchups that you would like to see.
As far as who wins this?
Mm-hmm.
That is a tough one.
Do you think Na'Vi is... Okay, well, let's put it this way. Na'Vi, obviously, they're waiting on the sidelines. They could be watching this match very, very carefully right now. Do you think there's one matchup they would prefer to be going against over the other?
I actually don't know. They've been playing rather poorly up until today when they took down Empire, to the point where I don't know how confident they would feel, but I don't think they... I think Alliance has looked a lot weaker coming into this series. They seem a little more solid right now. I feel like Na'Vi would rather play Alliance than VPpolar. And part of that maybe just being that VPpolar plays them so much, because all these teams play in the big Western tournaments, but Na'Vi and VPpolar also play in a lot of those CIS-only tournaments. So that's where I think I'd rather see VPpolar versus Na'Vi, but... DK Phobos being kind of the prodigal son of Dendi. Dendi has taught him a lot about Dota, and since that, DK Phobos has just morphed into this amazing player and just a big playmaker for them. So I think that would be really cool. The student versus the master in some ways. Although he has been around for a really long time, DK Phobos. He does some programming for them, actually, I believe.
Phobos does?
Yeah, for Na'Vi, I'm pretty sure.
What a smart guy. Good for him. And good at Dota. He has everything.
Dota. Ladies, go post on his VK.com.
So finally we'll get back underway.
Holla at your boy.
Look at this now, FNG. Walking away from up this top lane. He's not really found any sort of itemization. Very selfless support role from him. But 15-6, it's still Alliance's early game, coming back into this one slowly. They continue to try to take down objectives and take away structures, so that way Illidan doesn't really feel comfortable finding places to farm if he doesn't really have a whole lot of map vision to work with. So I wouldn't be surprised if Alliance take down a couple of towers and then consider investing in it. Well, they actually already have a gem. Okay, holds one right now, and then they could look to take away all those wards, and then really VPpolar could be stuck in the dark and a bit too nervous to go too far out of bounds.
And Team Age Dota is kicking in, though. Illidan was one slightly behind Loda's Juggernaut now. Solid 1.5k gold ahead, and this will only continue to accelerate as we'll see Loda pick up that go-to item for Jugs nowadays. It's the Basher. He's not going to complete the Aghanims, which I think is a good choice here. It looks like it may even end up being an IF Scotty. To me, the Aghs is a little bit too all in on your ultimate the way this game's developing. He may need to man fight this anti-mage, and Aghs is not really going to help you do that.
And sometimes your ult speed could just be a little too unpredictable.
Exactly.
You may think you have like an opportunity to get for a solo grab, but the next thing you know, people show up, creeps sweep in there, a neutral comes by, and your ult is not as potent as you thought it was once before. So I agree with that. Maybe being able to utilize more just straight right-click damage is best for Loda in this kind of a matchup, especially going against Illidan in his AM. Speaking of which, he is pushing down this top lane, trying to do some work on this tier 2, while Loda is still taking it to this Roche. Looks like he will be able to take it down scot-free without much contention. They know it's happening, however. They threw the Ice Blast out previously, but they are going to have to sacrifice it.
Roshan will fall. Aquila dropped in the pit. Nobody gonna grab that, so some lost value there. Although
New ring for Roche.
Yeah. You can have this when you come back to life. What a miserable existence it must be for Roshan, you know? Your whole life is in this pit. You just wait for someone to come kill you. You can't leave.
And then you come back to life, and there's a bunch of garbage in your pit, whether it be a TP scroll or a couple of branches. It's like, guys, could you really just clean up after yourself before you know, whatever. And he's got a tinier place to live now than he did once before. His apartment is much more cramped.
Kids have no manners nowadays, you know. Back in our day, we took care of ourselves. We cleaned up after ourselves. It's gonna be the Bash Wars. Illidan building his Basher, Abyssal Blade coming soon. Same for Loda. Almost on the same course towards it. About similar amounts of gold currently in their pockets, and well. That could be a big game changer here. You get that Abyssal Blade off his anti-mage, instantly kill the Jug before he's able to Omni. Fight gets very hard for Alliance from there. Yeah, they're running a Tricore, but Wind Ranger, not particularly heavy right-click right now. Seems to be going for a Hex. And your Nature's Prophet, 5.3k gold. Does Pycat go for a Hex as well? He might. He might. We'll see.
I think that would be big. I mean, the difference is being able to have someone like that. Shackle is not going to connect, but Lil Hardy is going to get the bad end of an Omni Slash right there, and he just gets absolutely mauled. Now, with the Poison Nova coming out, Loda's going to pull out the Blade Fury and continue to go. Finger's going to be able to connect, but he pops that one, and he will be able to live. Now Loda forces a step back, all not green with Envy, but green with that damn Poison Nova.
Anti-Mage is coming, though. They got to be careful. He's wrapping around from the backside. They have no Omni Slash to shut him down in this fight, and he might just jump in on top of them in ambush. He leaps forward. Might avoid to start it off. It almost kills off EGM. Now he's forced to scurry away with the Shadow Blade. He will escape Loda. Finding a kill here. He's still got Aegis. Working on DK Phobos. Somebody kill the man. Illidan's trying for it, but Loda just continues to limp backwards towards freedom. Aegis will pop. Can they kill him a second time? With no Manta, doesn't seem like it. So it's the Jug Aegis down in exchange for 2 kills overall. Nice little win there for Alliance.
Feels really like Illidan is the one who's really holding VPpolar in this one, because if you look at the net worth overall, just because of all the tower takedowns that I would imagine early on, they still hold about a 10k net worth gold lead on the side of Alliance, and that will potentially look to grow more as they push down this mid lane and maybe do some work on this mid tier 2 tower. Here comes the Ice Blast though. Fade Bolt already went out, and looks like Lil's going to be able to walk away with a Blade Fury.
Yeah, not particularly helpful against the instant Blink Hex or the Omni Slash, but he'll take what he can get at this point. Obviously hoping for the Omni Slash there. The Siege comes out from EGM. Hex is complete, so that gives them the double Hex. Nature's Prophet also has his. That makes it a triple Hex threat. Now things get dicey. You've got Mana Drain to kill off illusions. You've also got the triple Hex to just focus the anti-mage down, and he will have a much more difficult time getting active in these fights. He may even have to go BKB. I wonder if that's Illidan's choice next. He hasn't spent his gold. Well, there's Hex number 1. Can they get the second one off? It looks like he should be able to Manta and blink away.
Ooh, Ice Blast. Not going to connect on anyone, but Potato could be in a... No, they're all good. Alliance are just sweeping through this jungle, taking advantage, and Illidan, who's farming and pushing down this top lane, is going to force Alliance to go on a bit of a chase, but they're not looking to go too far. They'll just kind of cut off this creep wave and continue to push in from this top, take this tier 2 tower, and pretty much clean out all outer towers from the side of VPpolar. Then it becomes real restricted. Going past that kind of a line becomes way too scary if you're on the side of VP.
Yeah, he cuts the wave a little bit, and then he'll move into the enemy Ancients, but he'll have to come home soon. I don't know if they can actually break the base with this creep wave, but they'll try. They've got 2... Actually, oh, sorry, a full creep wave as well as a couple of Prophet Treants. Quick Blade Fury comes out from Loda. And he doesn't have mana for Omni Slash right now. He's about 40 short. They may need to give him some. They'll toss EGM back in. Now the Yule's throwing him up in the air. Anti-Mage getting ready to descend on the fight. And they will retreat out. He'll blink to safety, maintain as he retreats. He has opted for the completed Abyssal Blade. No BKB. Also, buyback status is precarious. 1358 reliable gold. Okay, so he does have it, but if he buys anything else, he'll be short. Still, forcing him to buy back is really going to put the hurt on VPpolar's late game potential. I think it's a risk you have to take. Illidan didn't quite do enough in the last fight, and you get the Abyssal Blade here, you get that one guaranteed kill, and then you may just be able to run the rest of them down.
Yeah, but you always have to be cautious. 3 different ways of just to CC and lock him down. He needs to make sure that when he commits to some sort of fight, he does not get locked down into oblivion and just absolutely manhandled. It just feels like the Tricore of Alliance just offers so much more late game potential than VPpolar, where they're just putting more on the back of the AM alone. And then plus, well, of course, Venomancer is able to get in there, and if he has to be like a suicide bomber as far as dishing out the huge poison nova, that's pretty much it. So we'll have to see if they can make the best with what they got. They smoke up now and look to spread out. Alliance, though, on the other side of the world, maybe look to converge through this mid lane.
They'll show Loda mid. They're keeping EGM in reserve nearby. They'll rotate Ake through. Alliance congregating towards that side of the map. 5 heroes in a relatively small area. Pretty aggressive position in general. As Loda rambles through the dire woods, he's got Omni Slash online. Lil currently in Viz. We'll be able to, smoked rather. We'll be able to retreat out, and into the trees go Mag and FNG. So now they'll move Illidan out bottom. They seem to know that Alliance is in their woods, and they want to just fight on the other side of the map. He'll push through. He's spotted out now by Radiant Ward, and immediately EGM Shadow Blades that direction. Prophet can also join them here. This could be an opportunity for a jump in. Prophet will be the second Hex here. Impale comes through. Now they Orchid. They Hex again. Can they bring him down? He's low, and he will go down. The auto attack damage is there. Great initiation, and that is the worry. You're running one very fat carry against triple Hex with a Prophet who can be anywhere, and a Blink Lion who jumps out of the fog. It's difficult not to go down.
And there's a lot of that fog. If you just take a moment to look at the vision here for VPpolar, they just have none. You can't see anything outside the base. They're just like sheep, corralled into their own little fence line. And if they go out, the wolves are going to be out there ready to eat them on up. So now, tempted to pull out the buyback here. Alliance are going to try their best to force it out and make him dip into that piggy bank, and that would be crippling to him. So now doing some work, though, on this tier 3. Even EGM on the low ground, dishing out that focus fire, seeing if they can get as much damage as possible. Alliance, though, very persistent. They want to come in, and they're not leaving unless they take an objective.
They have 4 buybacks on the side of Alliance, and Loda will be the first one in. Blade Fury now stolen. They'll kill off the tower. He could go for an Omni, but really wants to reserve it for a better opening than that. Homanta quickly out of the Cold Feet. Now retreating out a bit as Anti-Mage is respawning in 10. No, he comes back in. He's going to Blade Fury, go for the tower. He'll bring it down, as you can hit magic immune units and structures during Blade Fury. And now he'll walk back to safety. So they get the clean Rex, and that was just one Anti-Mage kill. You go again with this bottom lane already pushing in. You may take even 2 lanes of Rex before he's able to respawn. So next time around, I think Illidan dies again. He's going to have to buy back.
Scouting Ice Blast to see if maybe they were considering going for the Roche. The secondary timer is about to pop up here, and it's a moderate amount of time. So Alliance have to keep these lanes pushed a little bit more. Then they could step back, maybe go for the Roche. Having that Aegis could secure them the opportunity to make another push into the base. And Illidan, who's trying to scout out, needs some help, and having that nearby. Potato, long latch, not going to be able to connect as Mag is able to shift it, but FNG gets caught with the sheep. And they will not be able to follow through as he is able to scurry himself back into the safety of the base. But just goes to show those sharks swimming in the shallow water just outside of the beach line here, ready to just take a bite.
Illidan, he's going to go back for the BKB now, and man, does he desperately need it or what? The triple Hex, you got to have it. They go into Loda, though. They get that quick Abyssal Blade initiation. Boom! Shakalaka, killed number 1. And now they look for more. Illidan on the chase. Buyback is available in Loda. Not opting to use it just yet. Now he'll pop it, but can he get into the fight quickly? Illidan, will he leap forward or back? He's got 2 choices here. He goes in. He wants a bit more. Looking for EGM. A couple of slices. Where's the bash? There you go. Gets the kill. Loda still walking his way forward. He hit the TP to the tier 2 mid. It's going to take him ages to get involved. This Mag will end up going down. The trade may be Pycat, but here comes Omni Slash. Manta's there, and that's going to end up, well, not really accomplishing a whole lot. Now the chase is on from Loda. A pretty fail Omni. And he blinks out to safety. They force out the buyback. Ice Blast coming through. Lil able to retreat. Now he manages to steal Blade Fury as well on his way out. What a great fight. And with that, BKB is now available for Illidan. He almost dies fighting the creeps bottom. He'll buy the BKB, I imagine. No, maybe not. Holding his gold for buyback. FNG does fall here on the other side of the fight. And with that, a gem hits the deck. So, let's see. 1 gem on the Radiant. Looks like VPpolar, no detection right now, outside of some sentries in the base.
My.
Whew.
Yeah, Loda investing that buyback, had to do a long run just to get in that fight. And then by the time he gets there, his Omni is not going to be able to do a whole lot. Illidan will be able to live, but hey, during that while, Roche is able to spawn back up. So Alliance feeling a little bit more at the ready. They'll move in and go right to work on it. But they do have to play it a bit slow. This Aegis is certainly required, given that Loda does not have the buyback now. He's going to throw that Aquila back on the ground. Back for you, Roche, as I will happily trade it for your happy little shield. You'll die once again. Cheese on the ground. Anybody want it? Ake says, I guess I'll take it. It looks pretty Gouda.
Pretty Gouda. Very clever. All right, they're finally going to pick this Aquila up, so it'll make the long journey back home to be dismantled and sold for parts. They're getting big on these other cores. EGM, in addition to the Hex, now has a Perseverance and 2,800 more gold. I imagine he'll just be going... I guess he could even go for a Refresher, but no, he'll go Linked Sphere, so... Yep, it's a good item. They can't Blink Abyssal Blade him, can't be Mana Voided, and that is a huge chunk of VPpolar's damage output, is that Anti-Mage Mana Void. They are cornered right now. Juggernaut, no buyback. Windrun Ranger, no buyback. So with that, they do have the Aegis Cheese, but you want to be very cautious about how you approach this base. Only up 1 lane over X. Anti-Mage, one of the best in the business at clearing waves and taking advantage of downtime from enemy heroes. So slow rolling it is Alliance. It's an elimination game 3, and they don't want to take any chances.
I think that's the smartest way to play it. Just keep pressuring it safely throughout all the lanes, and then once you have a couple more of those buybacks up and at the ready, then you can play a little bit more overzealous, trying to get into the base. But look at this VPpolar.
Little smoke gank. They're going to go for some big plays. They do have that BKB on the Anti-Mage. Good time to fight with the creep wave here. So Omni Slash is less effective, but they don't actually go in yet. And now Alliance seems to know what's up. DK Phobos dropping an award. They hang out on the high ground. This is a very dangerous location to approach them. If he gets off the Omni, they're in trouble. Illidan wants that Abyssal Blade to start. They initiate with DK Phobos. And Omni Slash is used only on him. Will it bounce any further? No! Illidan's free to roam in this fight. He goes directly into the fray. They stole the Omni Slash. It slashes through onto Aki. Big plays from Lil. 2 down. Aegis pop. Will Loda die again? Remember, this is a dieback if he does. He's Hex for now. They focus him with EGM at his side. BKB now over. He blinks away. Can't finish the job. He makes it out. 2 heroes dead. Aegis down. Lil hiding in the trees. That'll be a 2 for 2. There's no running from this junk. Hit him. Hit him. Maybe there is. They can't hit him. He ends up getting out. Oh, he TPs to freedom. The creeps, I think, blocking him there. And they still have the Anti-Mage buyback. I don't think you can go for this anymore if you're Alliance. No joke buyback. No profit buyback. He ended up going down and spending his in that fight as well. Oh, man. That was actually a 3 heroes dead in the Aegis, not 2. So that is a costly fight.
Or a very good smoke flank play coming out from VPpolar. Hoping to get a little bit more out of it. Almost managed to get a huge takedown, including Loda.
I love the way they start the fight there. Blinking in with the Venomancer, DK Phobos, he basically presents himself, just begging to be omnied, and Loda obliges, but he had already gotten off his ult, so what does it really matter if your Veno dies at that point? He has a BKB, I guess, but, you know, Omni Slash goes through that anyway, so it's perfect. You bait out the Omni, and that is a huge chunk of the damage output of Alliance. Because Wind Ranger and Prophet mostly went for utility items.
It's just part of what makes Venomancer so annoying is you know he's going to be building a Magnum Scepter, which means he's going to be harder to take down. So you have to invest so much just to get him down. And by the time he does drop, he already gotten everything off. And then you're looking at yourself, you're green, you're Poison Nova, and you're weak yourself. And now the rest of VPpolar are going to be coming through and looking to clean on house. Venomancer is just so beautiful being able to set up initiations like that. So you got to either do one of 2 things. You got to get him down quick, but regardless, he's probably going to get everything off.
Or just back off and get the healing ward up and outlast them. But they didn't have that option in that fight because of where they engaged. Mid lane, Pycat TPing in. He doesn't have a blink, though, so there's no long-range blink hex. He went for a BKB, too. VPpolar going to push out these lanes as a squad. Illidan closes in on 6-slotted territory. He is near his last item. He actually leaps forward. EGM scattering to the winds. The whole enemy team's in raid. Illidan probably on the verge of BKB, but he gets hexed. Impaled once. Now Mana Drain. They coil, but Illidan may go down. He mantas. He's got to run. This is going to cost Mag his life for the defense. Yule's not able to get out. And he will end up dying. They drop a gem, but they get out so far safe aside from that. Although Pycat looks to change that. He gets lifted, tossed right back down as the shield breaks the toss. Well, they make it back to the base. Bottom lane pushing in, mid and top not yet at the rack. So we'll see if they just want to rotate mid and try and force out this puck buyback, which he does currently have.
And it always feels so scary when VPpolar try to make plays happen outside the base. If it goes disastrous, then they could just lose so much and at least another set of racks. And by now, those buybacks are slowly coming back online here. Loda's got about another 20 seconds left. More at the ready. He jumps onto my nuts and he's able to take him out with the Abyssal Lockdown. Pycat does eat the Ice Blast, so Illidan says, I'm going to make a go for it. Moves on forward. The shield's going to be there, but they turn right back. And huge Omni Slash rips apart Illidan. And now spitting in this mix, and the return Omni Slash is not going to be doing anything there from Lil. Meanwhile, DK Phobos drops down all the poison, forces Potato to get on back. Loda now in big trouble. Mantis to try to get away from the lockdown, but he still
just cooled down.
But he does have that buyback. Illidan uses his buyback as well to come back into this fight. Oh, man.
Ugh, that Illidan buyback is going to hurt VPpolar a lot. He had, he basically had a tier 4 item, but now he's down to 3k gold. He's not going to be able to farm anything for a while. He can at least push out these lanes. You see the Juggernaut's power late game. This is not the full 6-slotted Juggernaut either. He has not completed Abyssal Blade. He can replace the Mask of Madness, and he has room for one more item. So conceivably, he could have Abyssal, Butterfly, and something else, like an Assault Cuirass, perhaps. That's the point where I feel like he can kill the Anti-Mage and all of his illusions with a single Omni Slash. And oh, well, Rubik stealing Omni Slash is a big play. It doesn't hit that hard. He has no attack speed items. He doesn't have huge damage. He's not getting the extra slashes, and it looks really sexy, but it just doesn't get the job done the way the Juggernauts does. VPpolar, one big mistake from Illidan probably cost them this game, or will cost them this game. So he's got to play flawless Dota.
So winded now.
Yep, and Alliance got to feel pretty good. They wait out for Loda to come right back, and then I imagine they just push these lanes back, hurdle VPpolar back towards their base. They step back, they go for the Roche when it comes back up. They have that Aegis, and then that's going to be their, well, hopefully, final hurrah to take it right to VPpolar. It seems to be what could, be the smart tactic here. For a game that matters so much, it's just always best to play it safe.
Huh, he goes for BKB. That's really surprising, to be honest.
It is.
The only way he's really done Abyssal. And I guess it blocks some of the magic damage that follows that up, but I feel like Butterfly, or just going offensive and completing your Abyssal is the much better way to go. Well, we'll see. Puck doesn't have a Hex either. Like, if Puck had a Hex, then the BKB could make sense. I don't know. We'll see how it pans out, but I feel like Butterfly is the better choice here.
Yeah, and both Venomancer and AA's ultimate does persist through a BKB. It may not do the damage during it, but once a BKB ends, it will still be there. Given that it is a late BKB, so he does have a full 10 seconds on it. Could help for a long duration, but look at it coming from behind. There is going to be the Hex as they look to catch out. And Loda could be caught out here, but they both trade their BKBs, and now as they slash, Illidan does step back. And now he could be caught here. There's going to be the slash, and he's going to be dropped with the Omni Slash. Illidan is out for 2 minutes, and I think Pycat with a double kill right there will allow Alliance to be able to sweep on through.
Oh no, they're out of steam at this point, although the Venomancer Walt is doing good work, bringing everyone low. DK Phobos gets bashed. Loda, Ultra Kill going Pycat's way. What a huge Omni Slash. He bashed the Anti-Mage during the Omni so that he was unable to blink out to safety, and as a result ends up going down. To make matters worse, there's no buyback on this Anti-Mage. Loda's getting walked towards the pit. Can they just go win the game now? No Anti-Mage for 85 seconds. As it turns out, none of these heroes have buyback. Although, Alliance obviously doesn't realize that. Who would they know? They know the Puck, wouldn't, but he's alive right now. Yeah, the only one they know for sure doesn't have it is Anti-Mage. And now it's time. Alliance moving as a squad down the middle lane, looking for the GG here. Can they take the win? Loda holding onto his buyback for now, not opting to spend his gold. Omni Slash to cooldown in 50, but I don't think they're going to need it. VPpolar on their last breath of life in the DAC European Qualifier. A loss here, they go home. And that would set up a Navi versus Alliance showdown. Your old school El Clasico looking to make a new return, as these teams are a bit revitalized with their updated rosters. Potato pounding into the melee racks top. Loda caving in the mid. Alliance on the verge of taking this game, number 3. They got the mid. They look now for the top. Illidan just can't respawn quickly enough. 20 seconds and counting. Loda will BKB, and now he runs in to start smacking FNG. Gets off the bash. Doesn't kill him yet. Now Blade Furying through the Ghost Scepter, just buying himself time. They will auto-attack him. Now FNG will fall. Now the retreat out. Potato continuing to hold the line. He will end up dropping. Well, maybe not. Yep, orb forward. They finally get the kill. Puck now on the chase. DK Phobos hunting Ake out. He continues just slowly pecking away at him, but at this point, Dakota, it's mega creeps. Illidan's alive. It's going to be very hard to hold from here.
A tough pill to swallow coming back into this VPpolar. They will just take what they can, at least, to make themselves feel a bit more justified. But I guess at this point, all you can do is walk back, rally up, and maybe go for one last hurrah. But will they be able to walk back here? They're still dancing here with Loda. Lil moves forward, gets silenced, pops his Ghost Scepter, but Loda's already on the way out.
There's a 4-staff lift, but he's too fast. 504 move speed with the phase boots.
It's on the hunt, and they get it. They get their lift. Loda's blown up. He does have buyback, however. And Pycat on the other side of things, he finds the kill in the woods, and he might find a second one. Double kill for him.
He got an ultra kill earlier. That is 6 kills for Pycat. He's got 6.7k gold. This is after he bought back earlier. Ice Blast is coming all the way into the fountain. It's level 2. Actually, he runs out very quickly. Blinks on out. Nice play by Pycat.
That game sense tingling. He probably saw it maybe launch in the vase.
Yeah. Either way,
I'll give him the benefit.
Yeah, nice play there by Pycat. He definitely knew it was coming, and it's mega creeps. If VPpolar can come back from this would be one of the greatest comebacks in the history of Dota, if not the greatest. It would take something remarkable though, because Alliance right now have 5 buybacks to go with mega creeps, so they will be able to throw 10 bodies at VPpolar. Good luck, and make it 12 if they get this Aegis cheese. And oh, by the way, Abaddon's got 2 lives to boot. And they have, at this point, double Lincoln Sphere, Ghost Scepters, BKBs galore. It's a very, very beefy lineup.
Ugh.
This is gross.
Really? It is gross. And VPpolar, they're looking at the end of the road here, and what will be the last hurrah, I imagine, here inside their own base. Would take a hell of an effort here. Loda gets to wait out his death timer and come back and reserve that buyback just in case things go a bit sour. But I imagine Alliance now securing that Aegis. They wait things out and they look to go in for that final shot.
They maneuver forward.
Pretty confident though. Going in, he's gonna get caught with a Hex. He's gotta get forced out to safety here.
They stole the Hex
though. He could be in trouble.
They did steal the Hex. That's a level 4 Hex. Illidan engages. He gets Omni'd real quick. They need some help from the Omni Slash bouncing to illusions though. And now Loda, no Omni Slash to get out of here. The Venom ultimate comes through. Will they get enough bashes? Shackle Shot's there. Monovoid landing the kill on the Wind Ranger. He's just bullying everybody back. He'll blink the other direction, trying to focus EGM. Pycat to the left, EGM to the right, and with the BKB down, the Hexes are gonna cool down soon. So he'd better end them very quickly. He can't do it. He's out. Right click. Loda brings him down. No anti-mage buyback. Dead for 90. These are the end times for VPpolar. The road ends here, and Alliance shocks them with a new roster. Was not exactly hyped up like their old, but they have done it, Dakota. They go now to face Navi later today. And the winner of that match goes to China, goes to the $1.6 million and rising DAC LAN Finals. Oh boy, it's heating up.
How times have changed just over the past year. Navi and Alliance were considered for a while the best 2 teams you could come across in Dota. And today, they managed to both be victors, and they were both underdogs. Na'Vi were 30% to Empire 70%. They end up winning out their series, and for this one, Alliance were the 32% favorites against VPpolar, and they find a way to pull it out. Could not ask for anything better if you're an underdog lover. Now these two underdogs get to go toe-to-toe in the next matchup. DAC has brought forward some of the best Dota I've seen in quite a while, and it's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been a blast. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. We have those next two best of threes coming your way. Merlini, Zayori, they'll be stepping in to take you through them. And, well, as for myself and KOTLguy, we'll get a little rest and we'll come back refreshed tomorrow, ready to bring you some more DAC Dota 2 action. And, well, guys, be sure to follow him at KOTLguy on Twitter. Myself, if you'd like, as well, at LD Dota. And with that said, congratulations to Alliance. They stay alive. Only Na'Vi stands between them and the LAN finals. We'll be back soon. You're watching Beyond the Summit's presentation of the Dota 2 Asia Championships. We'll see you later.